Have you ever felt like there's too much on your plate to the point where you're tired and sleepy all the time? Or the pressure of life so much that you find yourself constantly saying, this is overwhelming? Well, I'm here to tell you that it is possible to take that overwhelming feeling and turn it into achievement. My name is Justin, and welcome to Wisdom to Wealth. Here on this channel, we dive deep into the meaning of words and explore how the wisdom within the word can define and enrich our lives. In today's video, we're going to discuss what is overwhelm and how to overwhelm what is overwhelming you. Let's get into it. And if you want the 7 things to do to exercise overcoming overwhelm, check out the video on your screen. First, we're going to look into the world's definition of overwhelm. Then we're going to look at what the Bible says about being overwhelmed. And finally, I'm going to break down how to overwhelm what's overwhelming you. So the Oxford definition of overwhelm is to upset, overthrow something, as in the case of a tornado overwhelming mobile homes. Another one is to cover over completely or submerge, such as when a city is overwhelmed by flooding caused by a hurricane. Another example it gives, to be overcome by superior forces or numbers, like when an invading army overwhelms a city. And lastly, the one that we all know, to be overpowered in thoughts or feeling, as when someone is overwhelmed with grief or guilt. Similar words are swamp, submerge, or engulf. What I feel the Bible defines overwhelm: anything that God gave you to exercise your God-likeness that you are afraid of. Let's go into examples from both the world and the word aspect. The world. We have bills, others' expectations of us, grief and loss, physical illness, and work and life balance conflicts. How do we solve these issues as they arise or seem to be all at once? We even have a saying, if it's not one thing, it's another. We then go to the internet to find information or knowledge on how to solve these issues at hand, which honestly is what we're supposed to do. We know that by Proverbs chapter 18 verse 15. The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seeks it out. That's what we face in the world. Now let's go to how they face these in the word and compare. In Mark 4th chapter, verse 37 through 39, it says, a furious squall came up and the waves broke over the boat, so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said, Teacher, don't you care if we drown? He got up and rebuked the wind and said to the waves, Quiet, be still. Then the wind died down. It was completely calm. He said to his disciples, why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith? So in this example, the wind, what is not seen, is causing the water, which is evident, to make the boat, which is the vessel, overwhelmed. Jesus inside the boat had to rebuke the thing that was not seen, causing the issue at hand. What's rebuke? To express sharp disapproval or criticism of someone because of their behavior or action. That wind was a spirit. Are spirits seen? Rebuke also corrects, instruct, hold accountable, and show love and concern. In his rebuking of the wind, he showed all these aspects to everyone around him. He said to the physical thing that was seen to be still, because you are able to see what you say impact. Also in this passage, it tells you how he carried himself. Relaxed, still stern, sleeping on a cushion in the stern. He had faith because he done the deed and asked his disciples, do you still have little faith? Before I leave this passage, I want you to see something. In the story from Matthew, Luke, and Mark, all look in this story at what they called him. We'll go through that in a later video. Now, how do we overwhelm what's overwhelming us? What we do is what Matthew, Luke, and Mark did in that way. In the way that they addressed Jesus. Lord, Master, and teach. This is what you do. Sound confusing, right? But look at this. Lord is a spirit. Have the spirit to learn. Next, master what you learn and then teach. Okay, listen to this example. Learning the code. So you see how you can make a website from learning how to code, and you do some courses, and you know that's where the money is. So now you look into a language to learn, so you go to the popular language like Python. So you pick Python over Java. So now you're ready to start learning how to code. As you get more knowledge, you didn't realize that you had to download an IDE to use Python. So you do this now. So now you're ready to learn how to code. So now you got to learn the different libraries. And then you have to learn the structure on how to code. And you have to know the sequence. While you try to learn all of this, you become overwhelmed with all the stuff you have to learn. And then you going through things that the teachers seem like they're not even going through. So before you start the day, how about you do a prayer for understanding of this topic? That's the spirit. Then you get down to the basics and you know where to start. In this case, it's getting the IDE, which it comes from downloading Anaconda. So you master downloading Anaconda, and now you can teach somebody else how to download it. So guess what? Now that problem that was overwhelming you, since you mastered it, now that problem will never come up again because you use your skills and you continue to stack upon it. So to recap all that we went over, overwhelm comes from things that we can't control, like the winds of life. We can use the biblical teaching like the story of Jesus rebuking the wind and calming the waves. Then what we can do, like getting the spirit of faith to get through anything, mastering the topic, and then teaching it to others. Skill stacking will overwhelm the thing that was overwhelming you in the beginning. There is always a beginning to every issue. If you find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Subscribe for more word breakdowns from the word aspect and the word aspect. If you have any questions or any words that you would like to be broken down, please put in a comment below. Remember this, what happens to you can also happen to other people. Let's upset evil spirits by spreading our wisdom and wealth in all arenas. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.